Aloha, Richard Halverson here. This is ITS128. And today I'm just going to go over the syllabus and get you started. So let me share my screen. See, I don't know how to do this. Okay, so you should log into La Lima. And once you log in, you're going to have your courses appear across the top. If you don't see your course, click on this little keypad thinger up here and find your course and make sure there's a star next to it. And then once you close this, you can reload and your course should appear there. There are two sections of ITS 128. There's the newer section that opened up. And for everyone that is in that newer section, I have added you to this section. So when you log in, you will see two ITS 128s, and make sure you click on this one and CRN 33514. That was the first section that opened up, and I've added you here. So you're going to enter all your stuff in. Okay, so this is the syllabus. And when you click on overview, you get to the syllabus. Before anything else, the first time you log in, which is starting today, you should be able to click on weekly engagement and click on participation verification and say whatever you want to say. You just have to say something. I'm here. And then click proceed. And then click submit. That lets me know that you are taking the course. If you don't do that, then next week I have to disenroll you, and that's not the end of the world. You have to re-enroll, and that's a humbug process. Okay, you gotta get approvals, and I have to approve, and it takes a couple weeks usually. So make sure you go in and click on weekly engagement. Now, if you're not quite sure if you're going to take the course, then you can hold off on that. And if there's no evidence that you've done anything in the course, that you could have a case to, get your money back or something. I don't really know. All right, so make sure you do that. So let's go back to the syllabus. And there's going to be two instructors for this course. I am starting it out. And John Johnson is a new instructor who is very well qualified, has a lot more real world experience than I do, in fact, younger guy. And he's going to take over the course. And so we still have to get his paperwork finished, but there will be a Zoom address for his. He may hold informal classes, or I may post sometimes when I'm going to record these videos. I'm recording this video right now, and so you may want to join or something. So, and then there will be a YouTube playlist, which will be, the link will be here. There will be office hours here, when they are, and how to get to them. This is the textbook. Okay, so everyone's got to sign up for this textbook. This is where you do your work. So you can either click on here or click on the textbook. And the first time you open it up, it's going to say it costs $77. Okay, the first time you have to go in and you have to do these instructions. You create an account, or you may come directly to this page. You subscribe, pay $77. It's good until June 2nd. If you need more time, there's a process. So we're going to go over the textbook in a moment after I go through the rest of the syllabus. So the prerequisites, you should have had the prerequisites to sign up for this course, or I gave you an override. This is the first programming class, so you can come in here knowing nothing. You should know how to use a computer, but other than that, nothing. You're going to do all your work in the textbook, so you don't really have to do. You don't have to set up your computer in any way. This course happens to have one of these new fancy textbooks where you just enter in your program in the textbook, and it grades it for you and tells you what you did wrong and so on. So these are the course learning outcomes. You can call it, sometimes you call them student learning outcomes. They're similar to student learning outcomes, and this is what you should learn coming out of this course. This is what you should know how to do. And so we're gonna make an attempt to measure each of you how well if you've successfully reached these points, so when you're doing your work, you can think about these things, and this is where we're trying to get you at. All right, these are this is the calendar, and you can see there's about one chapter a week, except for 4 chapters. 4 chapters are 2 weeks, and that has to do with how many sections there are in the chapter. So we go through the standard stuff, variables and expression types, branching, loops, and those are simply the chapter titles. So that's how I've spread it across. There are 3 types of assessments. There are participation activities, there are challenge activities, and there are labs, and they're all in the textbook, and I'll show you where all those are when we get to the textbook. But this is the percentage, how much it counts. And participation activities is just a matter of clicking through the animations. And if there's multiple choice questions, you just keep on answering them until you get the right answer, and then you get all the points. In fact, you can look at the right answer before you even answer the first time. It's encouraging you to learn basic stuff, and you just have to read it to be able to get the points. Challenge activities are little quizzy questions where you're given a little patch of code, and it has some print statements in there. You execute the code in your head, and you write down what is printed from the program, and so on. You keep on doing it until you get the right answer, and then you get all the points. Then labs are actually programs that you're going to have to submit, short programs, but they may take a little while to figure out. And again, all these things, the way this course is set up, you can submit as many times as you need to submit to get the points that you want to get. So persistence works in this course. And this is the breakdown of the grading standard. Okay, let's go to. I'm going to click through these left items on the syllabus. If there's any important announcements, they'll be posted here, and they'll be emailed to you and posted here. Resources. These are class videos from previous semesters that I've made. These are the playlists for the previous semesters. And the textbook changes a little bit every semester. Sometimes some chapters are rearranged. There's some different labs. Often there's different labs, but a lot of the same labs. And if you are persistent enough, you can probably find most of the labs showing you how to do it in one of these previous videos. So you can check those out. And there's going to be a video playlist created for this course, which is going to be posted on here. So some of the numbering is different. The section numbering is different because I move around chapters and so on. And this is sort of an equivalency where you can find these are the labs, and fall 2020 or spring 2023 is not any different than fall 2022. So I'm just going to change this up here. And these are the labs. These are the points in the videos where you can see how to do those labs. So there's a lot of help for you there. You aren't going to find all of them because we still need some in there for assessment. And the assessment part is not for how well we as instructors are doing teaching you the material. So it's just like some of the labs, very few of the labs, but some of them you'll get less help with because we want to see how well the textbook is working and how well we are teaching, other than just sort of carrying you through the problem. All right, so if you want to send an email to anybody or the instructor, you can go in here. You can click in here, and you can click here, click here if you want to just send to somebody. Keep in mind that that I'm going to be in here as a student, and so is the other instructor. This is the other instructor in there as a student, and I'm in here as a student also. Where am I? I should be in here as a student. Well, anyway, I'm not showing because I'm signed in as a student, so I'm not going to see me here, but you will see me here. So if you want to send an email to all of your students and you want to make sure that we get excluded, then go in here and take out this guy and take out me. It's perfectly fine. Some students will do a Slack. They'll set up a Slack channel. You guys can, help each other, but not, you aren't doing anybody any favor just giving them the answer, but you can certainly give them all the hints you need to. I mean, that's kind of the fun part. You know the answer. You're trying to get the other person there, but you don't want to tell them exactly the answer so you can give them hints. Well, try this. This weekly engagement is very important. I mentioned that we're only going to count. We're only going to look at it the first week, though, so we aren't going to look at it for subsequent weeks. So that's why it's not part of your grade. There's a Dropbox in case you want to drop some code to me, but I have access to, the instructors have access to your code that you've submitted in Zybooks, so we can go look at it that way. All the emails that are going to be sent, I'm going to archive them because there might be some important information there. And this is where you get the textbook. So this is a link to the textbook. Should pop open. I got to fix that. It should pop open. And then this is the Gradebook Classic. This is not finished yet, but it's going to follow exactly. There's going to be 3 sections: participation activities, challenge activities, and lab activities. And these are all of them, and they're going to be moved up to these sections. That'll just be in the next week or so. They should be all up there. And then when the scores come down from Zybooks, I will post them. And I may do that once a week. I'll probably do it just after the due dates. And you can see the due dates, of course, by looking at the overview. Well, and they will be posted in the gradebook, as you can see. I'm starting at the bottom. So that's when these are due. But when you look at the overview and you look at the syllabus, you can see it's these due dates that are here. Now, a word about due dates. Okay, these due dates are, highlight this, because if you're searching through on the video and you want to see me talk about due dates, these due dates are just recommended due dates. Everything is auto-graded, so I'm not going to impose an arbitrary schedule on you. My schedule is at the end of the semester, I got to have time to download all your grades, download the grades from Zybooks, and post them up to Laulima. And then it takes about a half a day to go through and check all my emails from you folks. Some of you might need more time on something. Some of you might have some message you want to give me that would affect my grading. So that takes about a half a day. So from the time my grades are due, and they're due at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's going to be the day before, which is going to be a Monday. I need a day. So the weekend. This is spring semester. So the weekend after finals week is when I download the grades from Zybooks one last time, all the way back to the beginning, and I post them up, and then that's when I assign your grade. So you don't need to email me or the other instructor asking for more time to submit something. Okay, you have more time. It's just the next time we upload grades, then the latest work that you've done will be posted up on Laulima. So you don't have to. So you never have to ask for more time. At the very end, if something comes up and you need more time past the end of the semester, I'm very, very flexible about that too. So the other thing then is there's no extra credit. Okay, extra credit is for if you missed an assignment or you didn't do well enough on assignment and you want a chance to make up the points, then some classes you get extra credit. In this class, just go back and do the work. Okay, if you didn't get any points on any of the participation activities for the first 4 weeks because something came up, just go back and do them. Okay, and then when you do them, they'll be posted up. So that's why there's no extra credit. If you want more points, go back and do some stuff that you can get all the points for. All right, so that's that. So let's take a look at the textbook. So this is the textbook, and there are 12 sections. If I click on my activity, I think you see this. The orange section says if you've done all the participation, the percentage of participation activities you've done, and the blue is the challenge activities, and the red is the actual Xylabs. So if you open this up, you can see there are 15, there are 11 sections of stuff that you read and learn, and on some of them there are participation activities on all of them except for these last two examples here. So really you don't even have to look at the last two examples, although you should, because it may help you doing these the Xylabs training, Xylabs basic, and this one is just getting you acclimated to the process of submitting your programs. Okay, so let's click through. Let's look at the first one, and there's just participation. You should read the videos. Just take your time, read the videos, and you basically you go through this. And when you get the points, it'll show up here. So here you just click through this. And if you're in a hurry, you can do 2 times the speed, and you just click through this, and you watch what's going on. Click through it. You watch what's going on. Try to understand it. Read down to the bottom there, and once you're done, boom, boom, you get all the points. Okay, so you want to get check marks in all these places up here. Here are just some basic program or basic questions. How many instructions does the program have? I guess it's this program up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to say 4, but what I could do is click on here. But I'm going to say 4 and see if that's it. Check. All right. Now, so I got the check mark here. So I got some points, and I want to get them all. You can even just like do this. Click twice. Oh, the answer is 8. So you put 8 here. Okay. Boom. Got all the points. Okay. You can do that, but that's cheating. Okay. So, don't do that. That defeats the purpose of you're going through this. You're supposed to be learning something when you go through this. So go through and do all those. And then I don't think there are all kinds of interesting animations here, little quizzes. Here, of course, you just check until you get the right answer, or you really try to understand it. Computational thinking is important. That's what you're learning how to do in programming. In programming, it's computational thinking. It's steps. It's taking a task that needs to be done, and you break it down into mini steps to get to the solution of the task. So it's a sequential sort of thinking, steps in a row. Chefs have to be good at computational thinking because you gotta do stuff in order. So that's what programming is all about. And for some folks, they aren't that good at computational thinking. They're better at mathematical thinking. I think that's what the alternate way of thinking is. But if you're better at seeing an equation, and that's just one step, right? But it's a very complicated step versus breaking it down into a bunch of mini steps. Some people are better at the first thing, and other people are better at the second thing. If you're better at seeing everything in one step, then maybe SQL, the programming language SQL for databases, maybe that's where you should go, because SQL statements are just these big, huge statements that say, this is what I want the result to be, and you let the SQL engine figure out the steps to do it. Anyway, just a side note there. So some of you may learn that computational thinking is not for you in this class. You can still get an A, no problem. You can still get an A. And what you will do is you will learn very well what it takes, and you'll be able to communicate with the programmers, and you'll be able to be very productive in IT. But you might not be the one that's doing the programming. You might be the one telling the programmer what needs to be done. So go through all these. Now let's find one with a challenge activity so we can see what that looks like. I'm just going to go back here. Oh, okay, I'll just go back here. Here's one. Basic input and output. It's got a blue thing on it. You can click here, and here you see this is a side tab. We're in 1.3, so we're going to do this one here. And so if we go through here, we go through the participation activities, and here's a challenge activity. Okay, so here we actually have to write some code. So write the simplest statement that prints the following. So we want we want to write a print statement that does this. White space and blank line matters. So make sure your white space exactly matches the expected output. Okay, so you're supposed to just put a print statement here. And so you can go something like print, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 3 space space 2 space 1 space go. Okay, I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to see what it does. And I'm going to see, not all the tests pass. I got an extra space there, and I did not. This is my output. See, it printed 2 spaces in between here. And this is what it expected. Didn't expect this extra space there, and it did expect an exclamation point there. So, I can fix this. I can fix it. And run, and now I get all the points. So somewhere around here, it says, I get the check. Here we go, I get the check mark. And so here's another one, output an 8 with asterisk. So in other words, I want to output this thing. Okay, well, here's how I would do it. I'm going to do a print. I'm going to print something. And then I'm going to print something. And I'm going to fill these in a moment. And it's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to put these inside here. I'm going to put this one inside here. Control V, Control V, Control V. And let's see what this says. I didn't do the middle ones. So I'll just do the middle ones. They're both the same. And now when I run it, we get all the points. Okay, so those are challenge activities. So, you want to get all those. If we go back to the syllabus, we see that all of the challenge activities are 35% of your grade. The participations are 20%, and the labs are 45% of your grade. So let's go to a lab. Let's go to this one, Xylab Training Basics. I think this is just a 5-point. It's just a 3-point. All the rest of the labs, I think, are 10 points. Maybe some of them are only 5 points. But here we're just supposed to see how this training platform, this thing works. And so what are we supposed to do here? We're supposed to get an integer from the input and output an integer squared ending with a new line, blah, blah, run the program, type in run program. Okay, so the first thing we do, let's just do this run program. And it does a bunch of errors. It expects some input. Okay, so this is what an error looks like when you just run your program and you don't have any input. Why is it expecting input? Well, it says right here, this is the main program on line 1. It has this statement. It says end of file error when reading the line. So because it had this in there, that manual, you'll learn all this. That means read from the keyboard. And in this thing, it's read from right here, see? So you have to put something there for this program to run. What does this program do? It reads in something from here, and then it converts it into an integer number, because when it reads it in, it's reading in as letters, and so or the characters. It's not reading in, if you enter in 1, 2, 3, it doesn't take it as 123. It takes it as the character 1 followed by the character 2 followed by the character 3. So this converts it into an actual number, 123, and that stores that number into this variable, and then it takes this variable and it adds it to itself, and then it stores the result in this user num squared. Well, we can see right here that the error is to square a number as you multiply it by itself. You don't add it to itself. You multiply it by itself. So let's fix it. Make that a times. And here it prints it out. And then it does not print out. What is it supposed to end with? Well, let's do this. Okay, so let's test it with 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So put a 5 there, and I'm going to run the program. And oh, look, now it works. 25. Okay, now so I run my program, and I get it to where I think it works, and then I'm going to submit it. Now we have it set up so you can submit as many times as you want. Why? Because we like to push stepwise refine, make little improvements, see if it works. Little addition, see if it works. Little addition. So we would like you to submit many times, or we would like you to submit many times, or develop many times, and you gradually get to the point where you get the correct solution. The advantage of doing many steps is that if you do a many step and you broke something, you know that it's just that little thing that you did that broke it. So that way you narrow it down when you get errors. Anyway, so let's try submitting this for grading. And I still am going to get an error because there's something about you're supposed to, I have a space here and you're supposed to not have a space. You're just supposed to have what's called a carriage return. And the reason it has a space is because it has this on the end of it. So if we just take this, and you'll learn all this, but the purpose of this is learning how this interaction works, because this is how you're going to be submitting your programs. So I'm just going to delete that out there, and I'm going to submit this for grading. And I think I got the right answer. Okay, so yes, I got all the points. So it's green, and I got the check mark up here. So that's these labs. And so here it talks about interleaving input and output. And this is another thing you have to learn about submitting your programs here is, as here it prints out something, and then it asks for some input, and then it prints out something, and then it prints out this thing where it's 2 times this. And so, you have to respond down here. You have to put something because you have that there. And that's going to read from here. Okay, and so this talks about how it ends up being interleaved like this and so on, right? Yeah. All right, so that's that, and you can see how that works. And then there's this one large program thing where here we talk about, this is another thing they want to tell you about this incremental development, which is what I was talking about, how you just make little steps as you go along, and then finally you're all done. And this sort of encourages that sort of development. So you type in the right program, get all the points, and then you've got this done. All right, so you can see that there are, if you go back here, so this is chapter 1. This one has 4 labs just because it's just, explaining how this thing works. After that, there's a smaller number. There's only, there's 3 in this one. I think there's 3 in this one. And some of these, in this one, I put this chapter is split into, it's 2 weeks. So I have the first section, I've got labs after the first week, and then labs after the second week. So I've set this up. And so on. So, and it goes all the way up to 12. And here, this last one, we're actually going to be reading and writing files. Okay, so that'll be kind of fun. Anyway, so that's this class. It's pretty much autopilot, and you just need to get through the Zybooks activities, and we'll be posting up your grades every week. And the videos will cover basically making sure you know what's going on, like the challenge activities. You might come to a challenge activity and you're just going, what the heck am I supposed to be doing here? And so we'll touch on each one of them so you can make sure you understand the question. And we'll get you through. If you have any questions, come back here. There will be email addresses and text and and I'll put my cell phone there for you can text me, and we will keep you up to date. And so this is the end of the first video. This video will end up the first video in the playlist for this course this semester. So that's ITS 128, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.